Hi, my name is Annamieka, and this is the Art Friend Show, where every conversation focuses on getting to know the essence of creativity itself. I'd love to invite you as well to join me inside of Art Friend School, where we go deeper into these topics and join in with other art friends around the world. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Art Friend Show. Here's two cool artists that you're gonna love to know. Hi, this is the Art Friend Show, and today we're doing an interview with Alison Osborn and Mackenzie and they are the co-owners of this awesome place called the Makerspace here in Sellwood. My name is Annamieka. This is day 97, I think, of the Art Friend Show, going live to have these conversations. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Alison and Mackenzie. Hi. Hi. We are here. Yay. So, we want to talk first about your origin story. Give just a brief overview of what you do individually as artists and then how you came together to create the Makerspace.
Okay.
And kind of fake to the camera whenever you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I want to start about yours.
Yeah, I can start a little bit. I've been doing letterpress since 2010. So I guess 13, creeping on 14 years. And that was sort of born out of, honestly, like the recession that was going on and just sort of digging back into my printmaking roots. And then I was doing all sorts of other things, as many people in Portland are, and kind of had it off to the side, knowing that it would be like a valuable resource to have out of my home as I was having kids and doing all of the life things, which it was. And so I printed out of a home studio for the next, 13 years. And yeah.
And I'm a ceramicist, kind of a baby new to the world ceramicist. I do all hand building. And I was starting my business, A Handbuilt Ceramics, kind of at the end of 2020. It was born very much from motherhood to a young child. Obviously, the pandemic forced a lot of us to kind of think about what we wanted to be doing with our lives long term. And I really came to Mackenzie, who had this history of being a small business owner, for mentorship and kind of help getting that off the ground.
It was kind of like the nuts and bolts of like website and all of the things you kind of have to navigate when you're first doing
design and printed beautiful business cards. Absolutely. And that was sort of how we began the baby steps of working together and kind of started how we wanted to. We didn't know exactly what it looked like, but becoming business together, and we found that our skills were incredibly balanced with each other. We had different skills.
Yeah, I think it was honestly a little surprising for both of us. I think it was like our products looked really beautiful together. We did a couple of markets early last year. Mm-hmm. But I think more than even that, we worked really well together, like as human beings. Yeah. And you don't really know that until you dig into it with each other, but like we have a very balanced like personalities and skill sets as far as running businesses go. Yeah. Which is like you can't make that up. Like you can't.
We couldn't have done it with anybody else.
No.
It's a real find that you have like an artistic compatibility in your vision. And then you also, because the skill set you need to run a business, especially one as multifaceted as this one, I can imagine,
it's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. It is a lot of moving parts. And we have a lot of young kids at home. So we kind of like, it wasn't necessarily like the perfect moment for us, but it was the moment like we needed it to happen.
Yes. So I'll share that, is that okay to your kids?
Yeah.
So, my kid, your kid, two of your kids are all in preschool together. So we're all at a similar moment in the career and parenting.
Absolutely.
At some seniority.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of a big part of like just getting to know each other was the fact that we had kids at the same time.
Yeah. Our kids are 5 weeks apart from each other. I think hers is right in that mix. It's like that's all.
It was all
you're pregnant at the same
time. Pandemic. We started doing like family Fridays together and spending time together and like really getting to know each other. I didn't really know you guys before that.
The biggest thing would be that I grew up with her husband, so that's how we like knew each other more peripherally before we knew each other deeply.
It was a very slow build.
It's
Yeah.
a real village.
Yeah.
If you ever walk in and ask us questions with Makerspace about like how we came to be, we'll always tell you that we are one unit. Our families have become one unit, and our schedules are one unit, and our shifts are one unit.
Well, everything in here was just sort of cobbled together by us as a unit. Whether it was, childcare or woodworking or like just, everyone's hands are on all of it.
Yeah. So, you got this space, and then when did you open to the public? Do you want to share a little bit about what that's been like?
Yeah, so we had this idea that we really wanted to, especially in the letterpress world, kind of bring workshops to the community. We knew that selling goods is something we were passionate about, but maybe wasn't realistic to be the only way that we were going to be artistic in this community. So we had this business plan and then sort of tabled it because we were a little, I didn't feel like it was the right moment or the right space had
We were
become
very
available.
particular about what we, the space, the vision was very precise.
So then Mackenzie was walking by the day the lease sign went up on this space and called me and said, I think I found the spot, and I was terrified. I said, no, we just said no. My stomach dropped. And then to the picture, and I said, yep, that's it. We have to do it. So that happened, I think, in February or March of last year.
Yeah.
We signed a letter of intent on the lease, and
in April
maybe, and then
in May.
last week in July, we got keys to the space. And
it all just made, it was like one of those things where like it just felt like everything was telling us to do it. We were kind of like looking like the kids' schedule, like, oh, they're going to school then, like we're gonna be able to get into the space in August, and then we'll have August, rent free. It all just felt like it was like, oh, okay, like it's really hard to say no to this at this point.
So we went from, we spent really 2 solid months, a little bit more, building the space out, and then we opened October 8th. Which was good. It felt like we weren't rushed, but we also we were summer with all the kids. We couldn't be here all the time.
Well, and of course, you look at the space and you think like, we'll just like slap up some white paint and like there's not that much to do.
That is not at all what I think. This space is so meticulously designed, and even like the way the tables, the whole thing is modular, beautiful, thoughtful, and very functional.
I will also say that Mackenzie is definitely the lead designer of the whole space and had quite a beautiful vision that we pivoted in the moment if we had to, and we were very collaborative in that sense, but so much of this is her and I.
Yeah, and we bring that to the team.
Absolutely.
That is largely my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
Absolutely.
So from that beginning in October, you were suddenly retailers during the holidays.
Yeah,
what
sure were. Well, we didn't. Gosh, we were.
I think we had the least experience with that. Would be what I would say.
I would say we were like we were unprepared, but we did it.
Absolutely.
Well, we didn't even like really know. Like we just didn't know anything about like how much you need to stock things.
Yes.
How
you need to start, or
It's been a learning curve for us in that way. We're makers who built a space for makers. And this, I think the space calls for it. And I think we're so excited to be able to showcase our work and other local makers' work. And I think it is certainly the thing that draws people from the street most often. It looks like something, right? It looks like something for the public. And this space is tricky because the last kind of 2 iterations of this space before us were not super public facing. So it was like a micro school, and there were curtains up on the windows. So I think people almost forgot to look at the space. It kind of wasn't available for a while.
I remember trying to figure out what was going on in the space.
Yeah,
as a neighborhood.
I don't know that we're like totally helping. We get a lot of people that walk in and are like, what is this?
I can tell you 5 different things that this place is.
Well, that's a great segue. So you really do have a whole lot of things that you do here. So what do you do at Makerspace?
Great question.
So many things. We decided out the gates. We have a lot of visions. This is incredible.
Oh my gosh, there's a man in a kilt walking by with a drum that he's wearing. Okay, this is Portland.
Here
It's
later coming
like
soon.
Monday.
The mausoleum is doing a big.
Oh, it's Memorial Day. Okay.
Memorial Day. We had to kind of decide which were going to be like the big things that we launched into, because we're two people who like don't even have the capacity to like.
We're two people with families.
Yeah, so like, it's a lot. So we knew that like the shop obviously was a part of it, and the workshops were a big part of it.
That was my most important part.
Those were like the big two. I would say that we probably have leaned into events more than we even really imagined. We knew we were going to do a maker market, but I think events generally have become a bigger part of the space than we even knew. But we knew the community building was like incredibly. I mean, that was the driving force for us.
That's so phenomenal, especially coming out of the pandemic and how this was born out of you all working at home with young kids.
Yes.
We did a very focus on community and local community.
Right. Definitely local. Definitely the Sellwood Moreland key was so incredibly important to us.
Yeah.
Because it's our community. We know. I mean, it's lovely actually. Since we've opened, so many other young business owners are opening places around here, and there's so much more life in the neighborhood than there was when we were really just a year ago when we were kind of figuring out what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I think that what's become most important to us has been providing a space almost that we needed at that point. Like somebody, we understand what it's like to work a market and maybe feel a little bit downtrodden by how much work goes into that, or what it feels like to do a full production run in your kitchen, at your kitchen table, and then clean so that your kids can eat, and then, you know, go back and do it again in the morning. And we really wanted to provide a space that, for us and for other people, that you can really just check out and kind of come in and only be focused on what's creative in front of you, and not really be thinking about the other part of your life that you get to lovingly come back to. You're more present in your life when you can kind of separate from your home and maybe be creative in a space and then come back and be present with your family.
I mean, we talk a lot about, I mean, part of it for us, obviously, we're parents of small kids, and that's like such a part of the grind for us, but so much of what I see in the people that come in, part of it is like the family, young kids dynamic, but a lot of it is just like the detox from screens, and like the fact that everyone is just like on Zoom calls all day. And
I know, I hear you.
But not like necessarily in a connected way, just in a like relentless way. And to see people sit around a table and like work with clay with their hands, and like their hands are messy. They can't grab the phone. They can't be anything or anywhere other than right where they are.
Right.
It's like pretty tremendous, and it's really, I think, right now super therapeutic for people to like carve out the space. And it's not we're not asking for like a big time commitment from people. We knew that we couldn't give that from our lives. You know, I can't sign up for, you know, a 2-hour workshop that's going to meet for the next 8 weeks. Like, I don't know.
You can do it like a one. I will say, like, I've taken up a lot of dance since leaving my marriage, dancing. But I can train in places where they'll teach choreography, you can still just drop in. But I cannot commit to like a 10-week series. We're not in college or anything. Like our life.
It's really hard to commit to much more. And I know that like if you're invested in like, you know, sort of learning deeply some craft, you sort of need that intensity. But that was never like
that's not really what we are.
Right.
We're like lots of great studios around that offer things like that, and we love that. And what we are is so much more one-off, so much more project-based.
What are a few examples of projects that they could learn by coming to the workshop here? Sorry.
No, you're good, because we could keep going for a while. So lead us.
Trust the nudge.
Well, we always have ceramics.
Yeah, we always do handbuilt ceramics. So I lead. Usually, I do a lot of like just slab mud workshops where you come. It's 3 hours. You build a mug. You decorate it with underglaze. I glaze it for you at the end, and we move it up 2 weeks later. That takes a couple different forms. Planters. We definitely do kids classes. You know, maybe once a month. That's been lovely.
We bring in a lot of other makers too. So you know, that's been fun for us because we get to meet a lot of other makers, but we also, it's the two of us making the call. So we can kind of like, it's been fun to sort of like throw things at the wall and see what sticks. You know, it's not the biggest takeaway from like something that doesn't fill up is that just that it didn't. And like, how do we pivot and what do we do next?
Right.
So the community is like telling you.
We're so
I would love to shout out a couple of our great workshop leaders. We have Danny from Honeysuckle and Mud, who does these great hand carved spoon workshops. We're on our third run of that. She's a great energy. We kind of always bring that back for date nights. People love to do that for date nights.
That's a date night one.
We've done like beginning weaving workshops. We've done, we just did a really fun macrame with Northwest Knot.
Dan brought for brooms.
Yeah,
Brooms are so
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Talking about like therapeutics, like just you know, like the simplicity of doing that kind of work. And we're
Floral.
always
I want to say Mackie and Vivid Floral. Beautiful work. Those sell out like that. So we're constantly bringing that in seasonally.
cool.
And a lot of other great ones that I'm not mentioning now, but look online at Makerspace Sellwood.com.
So they're really like, you come, you have the whole experience, you build the thing, you get the satisfaction and fulfillment of that. You also just look like you're about to get kombucha on tap.
We are. I'm very lucky that my brother is the head brewer and a big part of Brew Dr. Kombucha. So he has been lovely. We always come with kombucha at our workshops, but now we're about to get it on tap. So it'll be even easier for people, as well as we always have some wine offerings. You know, depending on the time of the day, it's not always the right time for that, but it's part of the experience. Is you can come, you get a glass of wine, you get a glass of kombucha. We have these lovely selfie cones from Charcuterie Me, which is cheese and fruits and nuts, and that is always part of. I would say 90% of our workshops come with that.
We want you to come and feel a moment of respite. Like it's a really like a treat, right? It's a treat and some self-care.
Yes.
And you know, if you come with a group, that you kind of get like actual connection time.
Absolutely.
You get to meet other like-minded people. I mean, that's for us. That's the drive.
And
Absolutely.
it serves that for you all.
Yes.
And
It does.
every time I walk in here, I'm refreshed.
It's a really the space is. It's funny, we've gotten so used to it. I feel like I'm comfortable. I kind of forget about the glory of it, of like how beautiful it really felt when we started. It still feels beautiful,
It's
but
glorious.
you get comfortable in it, and it's good to remind ourselves that like a year ago we didn't have this. A year ago
we worked really hard. You know, that we like.
Maybe at the end I'll walk around with the live stream and just take some. You know.
Yeah, and I guess another thing that we're sort of currently doing that kind of breathes. I mean, I will say that moments that I notice the space the most are when we swap out the art everywhere.
Yes.
All of a sudden, like, it comes alive in a different way. I'm like, oh, right.
Yes.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we do that about every 8 weeks.
Yeah, we do installations. In fact, we have one coming a reception coming this weekend for Katie Armour. It's beautiful. If you can see this gorgeous quilt back here.
Large quilt, and then there's also these textural.
We're doing like a brunchy meet the artist on Sunday the 4th, 10:30 to 12:30, and that's been. I mean, we had Jessica Council last time.
I don't think we knew we were going to do that, but those are the kind of things for us where it's like, oh my gosh, like why would we sort of miss any opportunity to like gather and be together and
with other artists and other
it's like the best part of what we do, you know.
I love it so much.
It's
cool. It's kind of like your future vision, like you said, is like community based. Can you tell us a little bit about Fourth Fridays? What is that?
That's a great question. So
you have covered a lot of these.
We're going to be becoming a little bit more involved in the Sellwood Morning Business Alliance, which is a great opportunity for any business owners around here, but even just for one-off artists that want to like kind of attend these meetings. It is really about bringing community and life back to the Sellwood Moreland neighborhood. Not that it's ever been totally gone, but maybe just a new iteration of it. And they've started doing these Fourth Fridays. We just had our first one last week, and they'll be from May to September. And it's a lot of businesses are going to be open late. They're going to be open 4 to 7, with either special openings, maybe drink specials, things like that. And for us, we're really leaning into this sip and play nights, which are drop-in only. I know a lot of the feedback we get is that our workshops fill up and people feel like maybe they can't commit that much in the future. So this is kind of a response to that. It's a little bit more freeform, not so led, although I'm always here for questions or to kind of help with bits and pieces.
Yeah, essentially you're kind of paying in for a pound of clay. Like you get to
Yeah,
do
you just
what
get to
you
build
want to
something.
do.
There's a bunch of other events happening because this
Yep.
is a really
Yeah.
small
Sunscreen.
There's a lot of other
Yeah, it's sweet. There was like live music that we could kind of hear down the street. There's like a little skate park set up just around the block. So it's sweet.
A lot of businesses that stretch on 13. There's kind of two main areas. There's like the Westmoreland stretch and there's the Sellwood stretch. And we are in the middle. We're kind of like, if you want to walk by us, you can get to both sections. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of businesses in 13th are really a part of it as well. So
And I think so many of the businesses in like outside of bars and restaurants in this neighborhood close. Like a lot of them close at 5 normally.
Yeah.
So to have like an extra 2 hours where everybody's kind of still open and maybe has, you know, stuff to sip on or like deals or whatever's going on.
festive.
Yeah.
Very sleepy little neighborhood.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
which we love when it's sleepy.
We love
sometimes.
this.
Yeah,
And very
sometimes
family friendly.
Yes, absolutely.
It's amazing. Cool. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Is there anything else that you'd like to invite people to, or other stories that are
Maker
still
market,
in
I guess.
Yeah,
our
our
Maker
Maker
market.
market.
Really, talked about what we do, but
Yeah.
monthly we do what we call our Maker market, and we kind of see we have a really big table in the space for workshops. We split it up, and we usually have about 5 or 6 local makers that set up and sort of vend their locally made goods.
So it's like they have their little micro shops.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually how I met you.
Yeah,
You
guys
guys
should talk about that. Yeah, what was your experience coming to Maker Market?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I've done a lot of markets back in the day. I've tried many things as well as an artist and business owner. And so a good friend of mine who's currently on Instagram as Land of Lulu.
We love you, Leah.
We love you, Leah. Yeah. So she was doing this thing called a Maker Market, and I wasn't aware of what was going on in the space, but she invited all of our friends to come down and say hi. And I remember walking up, and it really was breathtaking. Like I was like, like this sense, like shivers in this sense that you're really elevating that experience. Because I don't know about you, but I think most of us have done a craft fair or two that is just, it's just like not a fit. It doesn't uphold the value of the work and the maker's time in building a small shop and staffing it for the day.
For sure.
And so I was so impressed with just like the amount of beauty in here and the level of quality in the really small curation of offerings.
Yeah, it's very intentional.
Yeah.
We put a lot of effort into like really, creating like a diverse group of goods and people, and every month it's different. And we're now, having somebody who's either pouring wine or spirits of some kind.
And we want the pieces usually to like work together, where you're getting a little bit of something. You're not too saturated in one department, and it also is, like you said, I think elevated is something that's important to us. Not to mean that like if you're not at the market, you don't have beautiful products, or there's not like an elevated part of it. But more so just like what is the right fit for that moment, for that month, for that group of artists.
Yeah, and I also like a lot of the feedback I've gotten recently is Portland is like such a market town, right? It's just like, it's wild now.
Yeah.
A lot of them, like a lot of the big guys, are like really big. So it's great if you're like doing holiday shopping and stuff, but it's like a lot. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
If you were just like out with your coffee on a Saturday. So
or
one of the things, obviously, our space dictates it, but we love
It's like
intimate. It's really
You
intimate.
get to know the other makers. You can chat with people much easier, I would say.
I would say it's usually like by the end of the day, like a very little bonded group. It's like cute.
Yeah.
That's how I've met some of my best friends in life.
Yeah.
Is doing markets.
Absolutely.
The community that forms.
Yeah.
So our next one is June 17th.
Day before Father's Day.
Yeah, and we've got a great lineup for that. A really cool mix. The people we really haven't had in the space before.
No,
So I think that's going to be beautiful. And that poster is going to be coming out on social media here in the next day or two.
Who
So
designs the poster and puts it on social media? You do?
We're going to design all of them.
yes, this is our designer. Absolutely.
Who am I talking to when I'm on your social media?
That's a great question. It could be either of us. You never know.
Like, who is
I know it's funny because we do talk to people like, oh, they don't even know who
They don't know what's going on. I will say that we are so unified in what this business is that we have so full trust in each other to speak for each other.
beautiful?
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't really matter.
So just know that it's one of us and that we're on the same page. And if we do feel like it matters and it's important that you know which one of these we'll say.
Yeah,
We'll say, sure. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's definitely both of us actually keep doing the thing where like we'll post the same thing at the same time.
And then
In
realize
different places, and then we have to like go back and delete one of them. So
I have so many more questions here about your working relationship.
Yeah.
For interview too.
Sure.
And even the fact that you did this show shows the synergy and like the courage that you bring out in each other. Just the little bit I know of your personality.
we keep saying that like given the last year, we like probably shouldn't like each other.
Yeah, everybody kept warning us that you guys are gonna like either not get along by the end of that, or
it's a lot to go through with like a person.
Yeah.
Like,
What do we do on our days off?
You spend them together.
So we're very lucky, and you know, I will also say that any close, deep relationship, especially in this phase of life, like takes a lot of communication and understanding and want to understand each other, and that is what we have had a drive to do. We built our trust with each other. We understand each other so deeply because we have made it important for ourselves.
And we have a perfect like sort of cadence about like we're never both down at the same time.
Yeah.
We're really good at, and if we like happen to kind of be, one of us will figure out how to like pull the other one out.
Because being a business owner is a ride.
Yeah, and also like there's people in your community like you could call on me.
That's sweet. It was really good. That's Annamieka.
Exactly. Like, put on the list for me.
For sure.
To see your magnificence with fresh eyes.
I mean, that's a huge value.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It is amazing how, and we have to constantly check ourselves when we have like really great months or really great days, and we're like more, and you're like, oh, like this is it. We're in this.
Yeah,
this is exactly what you've worked for. Enjoy it and be in it.
And this is like really, I think, you know, being in late stage capitalism, being post or perma pandemic, this kind of like patriarchal culture, all the things. This is the antidote. This is the like way forward is what I see. And you're doing it in this very local, very intimate way of collaboration, of prioritizing community, of working through conflict, of seeing each other's strength. And I think that like it inspires me so much.
Oh,
it's so
easy.
I mean, I think that it's I always say that there's like this perfect storm of things that happen to make this created. And yes, the pandemic, yes, it's the parenthood.
Yeah.
It's the Trump presidency.
All of it. Yeah.
You know,
it's like
all of the
rise up with like the different energy.
Absolutely. And I will say that like one of the things that has caught me the most off guard maybe is the amount of people who have like come in and like thanked us for existing. Like I didn't. We built it like for us. You know, like
Those are the things. But also the way you told the story of synchronicity, being a hippie, I'm like a huge fan of like that. But the way that you're like, okay, this worked out and then this unfolded in this timing. There's a sense that I have that there are sometimes these ideas that want to be born that are bigger than any one of us, and you were in this perfect motion to create them.
It was hard to say no. It was kind of like at every turn, kind of like slapping us in the face. We were like, oh my, okay. Well, I guess like
we're just better than we're scared. Like
no, I guess we're just gonna follow the momentum of it because it is kind of pulling us, and I think there was a big sense of like of those being like the hardest kinds of regrets in life, or the things you didn't do, or you didn't follow, or you didn't. It was like, how do we feel in 3 years from now if we gave it our best and it doesn't work out? Versus how do we feel in 3 years from now if like we didn't try at all?
I also think you'll probably relate to this of like the idea of what it means to fail and what it means to not work out is not the same thing that I thought in my 20s. I don't really believe in this idea of failure. I don't really believe that, say, 5 years down the road and we're not in the space. To me, in no sense of the word is that a failure.
Right.
In no sense of it, what would be a failure would be if not done it.
Totally.
No, it's
not. Again, this is on for us. Like, I've been through, you know, the loss of most of the things that I thought defined my life. And from that, there is a path. I still exist. We still exist.
Well, it's
and
a deeper.
There's like less shame. There's less isolation.
Yes.
How you're doing.
And you're talking about
public is coming in in your business where you're like, I don't know, we're just making this up.
No, I think
real
it's so
DIY.
important. It's been a big part of like our voices being like as real and like vulnerable and whatever about like small business. Like it is big and it is scary and it is, but like it is also everything.
Yeah,
right.
that's
Like, it is like
that's just
we have
human.
just chosen to like live in a way that like the pandemic and parenthood and all of the things were kind of like really suppressing us as human beings.
Yeah.
So
honestly, even before that for me, I was suppressing myself for a long time and not allowing myself to dream big. And it was an awakening to just know that I could.
That's so cool.
What if we just did it?
What if we just do it? Here we
What if
are.
it works out? Yeah, that's
What if it works out?
That's right.
Okay. Well, amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the Art Friend Show.
Thanks for letting us ramble.
I love it. It's not rambling. It is what you're doing is you're putting your ideas out here to, the audience or to the universe via people listening. You're taking a moment to share that inspirational story as well as speak into being whatever's coming next.
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
Sure.
That's just being
Cool. Speaking of that, you're almost at 100 days.
I'm almost
You're
at 100
doing it.
days. I know.
I remember when you started. I remember when you put that out. I remember you were like, this is day one. I was like, 100 days, that's so long.
I know.
And then it just goes by in a blink of an eye.
It's been one of those, like, the most empowering. I've found my voice, apparently, as a talk show host.
Yes.
It's taken me from doing what I do privately with other artists as a mentor and a teacher out into the public forum. And now I have this membership that's, a place I can just keep putting it. So I feel very, very, very amazed. It feels like a miracle. It really does. And you all let me do a photo shoot. I have like 900 photos to populate all the places that this new vision is forming. So
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. And okay, well, let's wrap up now.
We
Thanks for
can
watching. And I'm going to take the live stream and just show you a little bit of the shop, but I'm going to press stop on these other two. So round of applause. Yes. All right, here we go. Okay. Oops. All right. Hi. Let's see here. Y'all can. So it is still recording audio. Just so you know. Okay. So I'm gonna actually walk in from the front so you can see how cool this is. So you come in through the door. Here. Thank you. You come in through the door like this, and then there's a shop in the front. We just moved it a little bit for the interview, but you can see all this curated retail. But they have gift boxes. So if you're a person that's like, oh my gosh, what do I get? Here's your birthday box. Here's your congratulations gift box, ready to rock. These are ceramics by Alison, who is one of the co-owners we interviewed. They have all this work by other makers here. These are some other Alison mugs. And then they have all this workshop space in the back where you can see these big tables come out. There's stools underneath them and people have their workshops. Back here you have Mackenzie's letterpress. And then over there is Alison's ceramic workspace.
You're welcome to leave.
And the bathroom is epic. Well, in there. Can you point out Mackenzie's letterpress work?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So she does all these beautiful, I would say mostly within the sizing you'll see, but great impressions. This is her work with a great
with Jason
local
Sturgill.
artist, exactly. With an illustrator, and they did a collab.
Cool.
Which is really cute, a little firmly into that.
Oh, that's rad. Cool. I didn't realize you print those for Jason.
Yeah, and then
amazing.
Some other people I've loved, and some other local.
Here we go. Check this out. We've got this coming up soon. If you need your card, come in here and get it. I love this one. I could probably use that a lot. Well, shit. Okay, let's go see the epic bathroom. Here's the cute counter. Here's the soon-to-be on tap beverages, and then we'll end with this gorgeousness. Ta-da! It's a special spot when the bathroom is like a moment. Okay, well, that concludes our Art Friend Show. We'll wrap up for now. Bye! I'd love to have you inside of Art Friend School, where we go deeper into these topics Follow the link that's in the show notes or find it on my website at annamieka.com.